Hello, and welcome to a new edition of True Audiophiles. Wow, this week has been crazy with the whole revelation from Mike at the In-Groove about most, if not all, of the current reissues that Mofi have done have been potentially cut from digital instead of the original master tape. So I wanted to kind of discuss it a little bit more probably going in a little bit of a different direction than what most people do, and mainly because I've discussed this already on a few previous videos, and maybe I'll put cards up on this video to let you click right to the links of those videos. But the rumors have been around for, well, at least a year, several months for sure. So, and that's why I'm saying I've made previous videos kind of talking about it indirectly, and maybe not so indirectly, because I know that there's been a video or two where I've mentioned that the rumors were going around that they may be cutting from digital to cut to vinyl. But anyways, I wanted to kind of talk about something that I think has been kind of a big misconception, or maybe a misperception, of what Mobile Fidelity says in their marketing. They always say original master recording on everything most everything they do. And whether it's on the top of the album, or whether it's in their marketing talking about their process and how they make records or whatever. But the bottom line is this: I think of the term original master recording in the context of they're using, instead of using a remix of the album or a remaster of the album, they're using the original master recording. And what they do from there is, kind of a mystery, because they really aren't fully transparent, and they never really have been. I wish they would be. I'm not sure they ever will be. But that's kind of the reality of it. So when they say original master recording, I think they're really using it in the context of a generic statement, because the original master recording might be a digital recording on a file, or it might be a digital recording on the tape, or it could be an analog master tape. The term original master recording, I think they're just using it as an umbrella statement so they can kind of cover every possible scenario that they will have when they make these reissues. Whether it's being that they, are using an original master analog tape or digital tape, or maybe an original digital file. Well, if there is such a thing, right? But anyways, the original master recording, I feel, when they say it in the context in their marketing campaigns anyways, refers to them using not a remix, not a remaster, but the original master recording. And then, if they have to make a digital copy of it, or maybe an analog copy of it, that's what they will do. There's Michael Fremer has made mention that Mobile Fidelity has said that they're going to use a analog copy of the original master of Michael Jackson's Thriller to make the 40,000 one steps. So that's part of the reasoning why I think that that's where their logic comes from, and also where it might be that if they are making, cuts from a digital copy of the original master recording, they can still say that what you're listening to is taken from the original master recording. So having the terminology of original master recording gotten out of the way, my whole thought on this is, and I've said this before, is, we just certainly and simply just don't know the chain. And, MoFi is not fully transparent about this, and probably never will be. And it's something that I wish they were, but we have to just kind of assume that they just won't be. Hopefully they will make a statement about the Michael Jackson, recording. They claim that, Michael Fremer has claimed that they will make a video proving that this is going to be an analog, all analog copy of For the One Step, but that remains to be seen. I hope they do. But, having said that, I've said this before, but I will, just kind of reiterate on this, just so you don't have to kind of go back to my other videos. It is kind of disappointing if this is true, that most, if not all, of their most recent reissues have been cut from digital. But having said that, that doesn't change my opinion about the sound quality of them. In many of the cases, if not most of them, I have found that the most recent, at least, Mofis, and even the older ones, but I want to stick to the newer ones where it's possible that they used a digital copy. I still think that those reissues are, in many cases, if not the best, if not, it's one of the best versions of the album out there. And, there's something to be said for that. And quite frankly, that to me is much more important than whether they've cut from digital or they've cut from analog. Even though my preference would be that they cut from analog, just because, if I want digital, I'll buy the Super Audio CD or, buy a digital copy of it. So that's kind of my take on that part of it. But I think the biggest thing that's happening right now is there's just too much uncertainty. But, I don't feel, for example, Mike from the In-Groove has any reason to lie or to try to spread rumors. If anything, it may be detrimental to him and his business, because, his sales for Mobile Fidelity records will slow down potentially, and any used Mobile Fidelity stuff that may be of recent issues, most specifically, may lose their value. So, I don't see him having a motivation to come out and say this, except to try to be transparent to his customers. And just the fact that he's probably frustrated by the situation as well. And, we have to take him at face value that he has what he believes to be reliable sources telling him this information. And, I have sources that are in the industry that I respect that feel the same way, that a lot of these have been cut from digital. So, where there's smoke, there's possibly fire, and it's certainly conceivable that this is happening. But at the end of the day, if it sounds better than any other version out there, in my opinion, I don't think it really matters. It just does go to show that you can, if it's true, it does go to show that you can make a phenomenal sounding record from a digital source. So, but I guess that's kind of my whole thing. Original master recording can have a couple of different terminologies and different contexts. And, digital isn't always inferior when you're cutting to vinyl, in my opinion. But I want to hear what you have to say. What are your thoughts on all of the things discussed in the video about the original master recording definition, about cutting from digital, about what Mike from the In-Groove has to say, what Michael Fremer has to say for that matter also. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So if you liked what you saw here, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos of mine, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to know when my new videos come out, hit that alert bell. And also check me out on social media. I've got a Facebook group called True Audiophiles I'd love you to be a part of. And I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. So check me out. I appreciate your time, as always. And I hope you have a wonderful day.